Happy New Year. I hope you're doing great. Welcome back to the Elle Daily, where we talk about things to inspire and elevate our lives and the lives of others. So I'm curious, let me know, are you one that likes to think of a word for the new year, write down your New Year's resolutions, or you're like, bah humbug to that? Sometimes you'll hear that negativity. It's kind of the extreme. Some are like, yes, I love it. Some are like, no, I just think people write them down and then they end up not doing it. But I think if you set realistic goals, it is very easy to accomplish them because the ones I set last year, I did make it. I always evaluate at the end of the year, like, how did I do? And so I'm going to encourage you two things. Think of a theme. I'll give you my theme in a second. Reflect back on your prior year. I think that's super helpful to really reflect back and say, yes, this is what I did really well. These are some of the things I want to change. So I actually even rate them as top keepers. So, this year, 2025, top 2025 keepers and top losers. Basically, like, I'm going to keep this, I'm going to get rid of that. So, whatever year may be, maybe you were really good last year with your clean eating or whatever it was that's important to you. And then some of the things to just get rid of. I was like, I will just overspend on things that I think I love and need. And there's a time and a place for that, but that was kind of one of my top goals. I was like, yeah, I'm going out to eat all the time. Those are a couple of things that I'm like just gonna let go this year. But I'd love to hear some of yours and definitely challenge you to do that in the next week or so to kick things off. And then I really also wrote down my goals, but along with the goals, you want to really write like, how are you going to get there? So I will say, here's the goal. What's the action to do it? So there's another nice little tip that works well for me. I won't bore you with all of mine, but I kind of want to kick it off there. So your top homework, think of a word or a statement. Mine is create versus consume. So really, when I say create, I want to do more on my own of instead of listening to a lot of YouTube podcasts or even, chilling and watching Netflix. I want to be able to have my own writing and do my podcast, work on my Elle Daily. Those are the things that are important to me. But what's important to you? That's what matters most. And then number two is write down what are you going to keep from last year that you thought went really well? And what are you going to really bring into this new year or kind of add to the mix to really improve your life and move forward. I will say when I reflected back on this prior year, it was a really tough year, probably one of my toughest, and it's because of the loss of my brother. So if any of you have ever experienced grief, you know the heartache that that brings and some of the anxiety, the depression, the underlying sadness. To the point that I feel like I didn't have the same energy to put into some of the other creativity that I wanted because I was trying to heal my little heart. And it doesn't ever go away if you've lost someone, it's just different. But whether you've gone through it or you're supporting a friend or a family member, you know what it's like. Sorry, my phone is going off like crazy. I hope you can't hear that. But I do want to keep this short and sweet. My goals with the Elle Daily is to keep it up to about 10 minutes just to check in, give us something to think about, be inspired to make our day great. What did I last want to say? So homework, we talked about that. I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to read the quote and then I'll send you off with love. So the quote of the day, oh, and actually one of the other main goals that I've come up with this year, I've never fully read the Bible from front to back. I grew up Catholic, and when you go to Mass, they do have the readings in there. So you'll hear the first reading, second reading, and then of course um, the priest will read one of the main readings, and then they talk about that. So I naturally would get the Bible throughout the year. I've never specifically read it myself. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'm going to there's two links. If you're Catholic, you can follow Father Mike. If you're not, there's another lovely lady who I love, Erica Kirk. It's actually Charlie Kirk's wife. I was able to meet them at America Fest and just love them dearly. Such a good example of a marriage and just making the world a better place. Father Mike too, I absolutely love him. So based on your kind of beliefs and values, check them out. The links are going to be below. And then we'll end it with this quote. So the quote of the day, you don't have to be great at something to start, but you have to start to be great at something. And I actually used that in my very first podcast a couple years ago. You don't have to be great at something to start, but you have to start to be great at something. I think it's so valuable. And just know you are capable of anything that you set your mind to. So say that I am capable of anything I set my mind to. Good way to kind of end it. The other thing I want to say is just don't wait. There's never a good time to make something happen. Now is the time. So Nike says it best, just do it. All right, we'll end it there. Sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next Dell Daily. Bye for now.